Beginning, middle, end. Setup, confrontation, resolution. These are the rules. We have an innate sense for the shape of stories. We know how the build feels. We brace ourselves when we feel the action rising, safe in the knowledge it will soon fall. Sometimes we're jolted by an unexpected twist. But we stay cradled by the understanding that someone somewhere is holding the threads, and that they will weave them together into an ending that satisfies our needs. We trust the storyteller. The human mind is naturally averse to uncertainty. So from an early age, we respond to it by generating stories. We are hardwired to form shapes in chaos. We build frames for our suffering. We analyze, we chapterize the school years, the single years, the married years. We try to hold the threads together because people like to hear a cohesive story about who we are. But sometimes the threads get tangled. If the mind were a good story, it would be paced with beats. People can feel irregular beats. By the end of the story, loops would be closed and answers to questions would be rooted out in pleasing ways. But the story of the mind is the worst story ever told. Repetitive, equivocating, inconsistent. Most of the mind story are the bits that an editor would cut out to not lose people. We are scared of losing people. So we stick to our stories, like the one about the disease inside our heads, or the one in my mental health records about 7 distinct diagnoses. Where had one label ended and the next began? I couldn't make sense of these stories. What is a mental disorder, and where is it, and why is it there? There is no scan, no antibody, no operation. You cannot grab it by the hand and touch it, which makes you think that maybe they were right to doubt you, and maybe there's no it to touch. So how else to conceptualize a suffering mind? Perhaps not as self-contained conditions stacked in the past, but something that's still moving. A shoal of fish, a million traits, experiences and impulses washing past each other. Sometimes they align to create dark spherical masses, which we call circles, or swirling vortexes, which we call towers. Sometimes they wind tightly into daggers. Sometimes they dissipate and let the sunlight through. The lack of structure in this conception of mental health unsettles me. To resist a neatly drawn distinction between personality and pathology is frightening. I need boundaries, some way to hem in the nightmare. But in its fluidity, it is also comforting. It lets me off the hook. No more need to put the bad bits in a pile called disorders, and the good bits in a pile called me. There is curious relief in the possibility that the same individual makeup that makes a person capable of so much misery can also be what makes them capable of so much joy. Because when the currents change, the shoal can unexpectedly swell into great cathedrals of shimmering space. The same little fish, the same little mind. Beginning, middle, end. Setup, confrontation, resolution. These are the rules. But your mind doesn't play by the rules.